Hey guys, so today we're going to be fitting a roof rack to a Pajero 2007 onwards. It'll be an almost step-by-step guide on how to access the top parts and the internals to actually get the factory rails off. And then I'll give you a rundown and we'll get started. The middle is fixed. I've already popped them off. I'll show you again. Put the tool inside, give it a pop, and it comes off. If you find it is stubborn, just work your way all the way around, and it'll slowly release itself. Same thing, we'll release the grab handles. Do the front one as well. Little pop. One of those clips that hold the roof lining in. I'll just pop that off, just so I don't crease the lining when I pull it down. Also, there's a 19 or 17 mil bolt that goes there. I am taking the seat belts off on the top bolt. Reason being, so I can take this cover off, is so I don't crease the lining when I drop it down. So this does take a little bit longer, but you're not getting a crease in your hood lining, or roof lining, sorry. So that is a 17 mil. Just let that hang down. Grab your rubbers. Drop them down. And rear. That just pops off. So now we've got cleaning access here with the rear. Give it a nice pop as well. Not too much. Okay. Now we've got access to this side. All right, so it's the same on this side. We've got to take the cover off. There's a soft tapper there. Now look, it's a bit hard with the camera, but what I'll do, I'll give you a visual from the outside of the car. So my finger's on it now, and it's roughly about 50 mil past this point. Look, it's the only soft tapper that's in that location, so it's a bit hard to miss. So we're going to take that off. Best is a stubby screwdriver, the smallest stubby you can find. Be a lot easier. Same thing, it's the other side. So you just push the plastic back, which is that one there. So now it's all loose, and I have access up in there to do the same 10 mil nut. I'll go ahead and do that. Nut is out, same as the other side. Pop these off. It's just a matter of getting clip tool remover. There's little clips underneath that pop into there, as you can see. The middle one is fixed, and that's where we're going to access from the internal. Same with this one here. Now, as you can see, you got bolts going into the roof, factory bolts. And then this center one is actually a 10mm. You have to access from the internal. Come inside. So what I've done, I've actually taken the trim off, but if you come in and have a look, I took the grab handle off there, this one off here, just to release and have access. Now, if you come in as well, there's actually an air vent for the aircon. It's this plastic one here, and it's got a self-tapper in there, a factory self-tapper. And once this comes off, and that's all it is, that's holding it. And continue with the back mount and get that off in the front. Yeah, with this last, the rear mount is actually a self-tapper that is screwed in under the rubber. You just pull it up, it will actually release itself from where it has to go. So it looks like it's stuck. Once you lift it up, it'll actually release itself from the rubber. So this is our backbone system. Nuts and bolts, and your special little tool to help you tighten your roof up. Be careful when you're unwrapping. You don't actually hit the powder coat. It's quite easy to do by accident, so just be careful. So that'll be passenger side with the longer tape. There's the passenger side. There's the front side. And then with those mounts facing in, that's what makes it the passenger side. Okay, so we've worked out what side's left and right. Now, next step is to actually clean the area. So we've got the rubbers on the roof. The reason why we're cleaning them is because we're clean when we work. And secondly, it needs to stick. So as you can see, got to build up and stuff. So we'll just give it a nice little clean wipe so our 3M tape can stick to that and give it a nice seal. Let's keep that area nice and clean. Move it on. Just use a bit of waxing grease remover. The next step is grab your rail and just get a feel of where it goes. So there's a cutout in the back of this rail there at the bottom, and then it actually sits in there, and then it drops down into place. So this is where it needs to be. So once you understand where all the holes are and everything lines up, as you can see, there's a hole there for your bolt, and everything lines up. So I'm going to check the back as well now. Make sure it lines up. So we've got one there. Yep, so I'm happy with that. And I'm confident that needs to go where it needs to go. You can see there, that lines up with the hole. And so does the front one. And the last one I'll check would be the center. Just pop up Just have a look. And that lines up with the center hole too. So I'm very happy with that. Next step, I will grab the bolts. Best way to do this is just get everything organized. So what I've done is the M6 spring washer and a flat washer. That's the way it's got to be done to go into the roof. So these bolts are for the backbone going into the roof, and the other bolts are for the actual roof rack to secure to the backbone. So spend a bit of time doing this. It just makes it a lot easier. And it just keeps everything straightforward. So you've got M8 in here too, so M8s are the larger bolts. These are the M6. And they're the 10 mils that we took out of the roof. So they're an M6 thread. So these are an M6 thread, they're just an Allen key. The rest of these. I think I'm done with the roof. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, one more there. Okay, so that's all for the roof now. 5 on either side. The rest will be for the actual roof rack. Same. We go on the M8 bolt, spring washer, flat washer. And look, all these nuts and bolts are stainless steel, so you've got nothing to worry about in terms of rust. Just get all these out of the way so we're not trying to find stuff later. And also you've got some 6mm nuts, 10mm nuts, 6mm diameter internal. And that's actually for inside the roof. So the center mount that we took out, I'll show you next. Look, there are a few extras in this kit. Sometimes it does happen, so don't freak out that something's missing. There are a few extras sometimes. Next step would be to take your covers off. Just make sure it's for the right side. This is the right side. So we've cleaned the roof, we've cleaned the area. Next we have some of this 3M tape. Now sometimes it does come a bit, so you just got to clean it up a bit. Nothing major. Just with a razor blade. I'll bring that over here. Just for overhanging stuff, so we'll just clean that up. Same on this side. Easiest way to do this is put a slice, then flick it up. Creates a bubble, comes straight off. Little mark, little flick, that comes straight off. Next step is have our M6 bolts ready to drop down around here. They're going to pop through there. So just grab your blade, just a little incision just to open that up. Careful you don't dip your finger. Same with the back. Just find the hole there. So now from the top, you know what you're doing. So we're going to pop this in place. Now this is a little bit fiddly. Once you line it up, it'll actually drop into place. So that's dropped in, and I just hand tighten. Just shake it a bit, so the thread might be a bit hard to grab. Bit of a shake, and that seems like, yep, I'm happy with that. It's locked in. How's your other one?
Yep.
Locked in.
It's in.
So don't forget the cutout sits around that rubber, and then this will just line up with it. Just a bit of a shake, just shake and turn, and that'll drop into place. Nice try. Thanks, everyone. And then we'll continue with this bolt. So there's going to be 2 at the rear, 2 at the front, 1 in the center. Just jump up the back here. Same thing. Find it a bit hard to find it, loosen the back, so just give me a bit of grief, so I just loosened it. Just double check. Yep. So just a bit of patience. Same thing, just shake and twist at the same time. So let's drop it into place. Perfect. These rails line up beautifully with the factory holes. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go to the front now. Don't forget, just hand tighten. You still got to do the center, and the center needs to be. Yep, don't do that. Same thing, it's giving me a bit of grief this side. So what I'll do is just loosen up. Drop it down. You have a look there, it's lining up the hole. Yep, straight in. Just give it a shake, that'll drop into place. Okay, now, so they're all in their position now. This is center bolt, so this one here, we're going to drop a bolt through there. But before I do that, I'm going to put some silicone, some Sikaflex, 227. Yeah, so the reason why we're using Sikaflex is once it does dry, it's actually flexible, so you won't get any cracking, any things like that. Just give you a quick look. Fucking twist, yeah, so 227. It's amazing for everything got to do with cars. What I'm going to do is drop some in the hole. Just a nice little squirt in there. Bolt in. Yep, that's through the roof now. We pop around here. Yep, I can feel that. Just got sticker flex on my finger, so the bolt's straight through. Now I will go ahead and tighten the center bolt. There's no sticker flex on the front and rear mounts. They have their rubber. So everything's protected, nothing's going to go in. The center has nothing whatsoever. That's why I'm adding a bit of sticker. And same with the rear. That'll bolt up and that'll actually seal because it has the rubber still there. So we'll go ahead and tighten the middle and then work our way from the back to the front. Then you actually feel the bolt. If you can work with one hand, that'll just put the nut on, get it as tight as possible. I'm going to try and keep this whole process as clean as possible. It can get messy, as you can see, so just wear some gloves. Keep on wiping after you work in certain areas, just so you don't get no silicone anywhere. It's a pain to clean up if you do. So the Allen key is on top holding the top of the bolt. I've got my ratchet to go in. Just take your time with this. The angle's a bit off, so just take your time with it. You will get it. You can see that it's starting to pull in. Tie that up. And then we can go ahead and tighten the front mount. Look, it doesn't really matter if you do it 1 and 2. It's kind of going to pull down anyway. But you can go the front mount, come back to the rear. You can go to the outer front and the outer rear. Pretty much while you're doing it, you'll notice how that's going. I'm just going to take a bit of time. And it needs a bit of patience as well. If you have a ratchet short enough. Alright, so we'll go ahead and tighten the rest of these bolts. Nice and tight, get it in there. We'll go ahead and do the other side, the other rail. Once that's in nice and tight, put the lining back in, put everything back in, and then we can come back and put the roof rack on. See you there. Alrighty, so everything's tight now. I've gone ahead and tightened the center one, done the front, the rear, on both sides. Gone and done all the interior. Everything's back to where it needs to be, and the last step is putting the actual rack on. That's very straightforward. So you rack, unwrap it, give someone to give you a hand, go and lift it on top of the vehicle. Edwin, hand buddy. on top. That's pretty much where it's going. Okay, so next is, this comes in the kit as well. It's a handy little spanner. So it allows you to drop your hand down to not hold the nut, because it's a bit tight on top of the roof. So that just goes, as you see it, sits in there. You drop it down from the top of the rack. You've got your bolt on top, and that makes it a lot easier to tighten. So what you do, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 mounts on either side. We're going to go 2 bolts in each mount. So that should be 16 bolts. 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then obviously the nuts to suit. So I'll start off, I'll show you the first one, and it's pretty much the same thing right through. All right, so we've got our nut in the little tool holder. You drop it down. You line it up from the top. Drop your bolt through. So get that nice and snug, not too tight, so you've still got room to adjust. So I'll go and do the second one. Same thing, drop your nut in the tool holder. Put it under. Keep tightening, get it nice and snug. And that's pretty much it. And then we'll go and do each mount right around the vehicle. Once everything's in there, we'll tighten it up and make sure the actual roof rack is centered, and then go ahead and tighten it up, and that's pretty much it. And I'll give you some photos at the end.